Okay. And actually, if you want to start with those pillows that we had, maybe bring yourself to your back. Have it go off to the side first. But make your way to the back. And then just lift those hips and bring that pillow underneath the back as much as it kind of covers. And if you want, you can walk those feet out kind of away from the pillow, but just give a little support to that lumbar spine. You can bring the feet into a reclined butterfly if you want. And even if the pillow doesn't lift the back a lot or at all, just having that pillow there is just kind of a nourishing signal to the brain. So kind of bringing in a little bit of nourishment to our practice today. Then let's just breathe into that pillow behind the back. Maybe closing our eyes. And just wherever the hands naturally go. I naturally just placed a hand on my stomach and my heart. If yours are on the side, or if you happen to bring your hands there as well, let your hands be on the stomach and the heart. Maybe your knees fall together as your feet are wide. Whatever feels natural, just allow yourself to feel naturally relaxed. To commence this class together today. Let the eyes kind of drop into the back of the head and the eyelids just rest on top of each other, not even any effort to close the eyes. Begin to notice the rise and fall of the breath in the body. Maybe that's more noticeable in the stomach or more noticeable in the chest. Just begin to notice how the inhalation and exhalation affect the physical body. And as thoughts come, just honor those thoughts and come back to your breath. And maybe as you relax into your body, you might notice that you need to kind of adjust the shoulders. You might feel as though your back got a little longer, or your spine got longer, and maybe you need to lift the upper back a little and then kind of replace that back onto the floor. You might notice you want to bring your feet further away from the body and maybe closer to the body. Just honor any desire to move and to resituate as you drop into this sacred space, this inward journey of yoga. Give yourself another round of breath. And then another. On your next inhale, maybe just ground those feet and exhale to lift the hips just enough to slide that pillow out from underneath the back. And then lower that back to the floor. It's quite a sensation to have that pillow removed. And just allow yourself to drop into this new shape, this new arrangement. Maybe a couple, 2 or 3 or 4 new points of contact with the ground. Let's give ourselves another breath in. And now on an exhale, let the left leg come nice and long and hug the right knee into the chest. And maybe just roll that foot around, so that right ankle getting a little bit of movement. And if that's too much on the sciatica, putting that left foot to the ground. And that left foot just plants with that right knee is hugged in, but sometimes it's kind of a relief to have one foot on the ground when you have a knee hugged into the chest. Now, when you next exhale, lower that right foot to the ground or the leg to the ground and hug the left knee into the chest. And then let that left foot kind of roll around. And again, that right leg can be long, or sometimes a little bit gentler on that SI joint to ground the foot. Now let's hug both knees into the chest and just rock side to side. Good. And now here, we're just gonna kind of get our brain going. Let's send the right leg long. Keep that left knee hugged in, but send the left arm overhead, the right hand on the side of the body. So the left arm reaching high, the left knee to the chest, and the right leg is long. And that right hand is just at the side of the body on the floor. But the left arm is extended beyond the head and the right leg is long. And now let's hug both knees into the chest, bring the hands to the shins, be rock side to side. Hug the right knee in, send that left leg nice and long, long, long. And then that left hand on the floor and beside you, and the right arm up overhead. And reach with the left foot and reach with the right arm as if you were kind of pulling yourself in opposite directions. And the right knee is just drawn into the chest just by the power of your torso and of your leg. And now we'll exhale to bring that right hand to the knee. Bring the left knee to the chest, the left hand to the knee of the left leg, and then rock side to side again. That's a little ball. Let's do that one more time. Let's send the right leg long, the right hand to the floor beside the right leg, left knee drawn to the chest, and that left arm overhead, right leg long. And now switch, send the left leg long, the right knee drawn in, right arm overhead, and that left hand on the floor beside the left leg. And now hug both knees to the chest. Let's exhale to bring the nose towards the knees. So now we're really like a little ball. And then lower those feet to the ground. And then let both knees fall out as we rest here in a reclined butterfly. So the toes, the soles, the heels together. And again, let those hands just fall where they naturally fall. I was on the stomach and the heart again. So wherever you just feel most comfortable, and we're just going to feel the breath in the body. Be breathing in for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last inhale in. And exhale out. Now bring both feet to the floor. And then extend that left arm up overhead so you can roll over onto the left side and that left ear rests on the left arm. The right arm is in front of the body. And then just adjust the sits bones or the hips so they're stacked. Maybe the knees are stacked and the ankles are kind of in a line underneath the knee. We'll just kind of rest. And then draw those heels kind of towards the glutes. So it's not really a 90-degree angle, but the hips are kind of in line with the heels. We're just going to inhale and open up that right knee to the sky. So the right foot is almost on top of that left foot. As if the right foot were standing on the inside of the left foot, just like a clamshell. And then close that right knee. We'll inhale to draw that right knee to the sky. And kind of as if you were reaching the right side of that knee to the wall behind you. There's a lot of effort in that inner leg. And then lower the right knee back down to the left. And then open that right knee back up to the sky. And we'll just pause for 3, 2, 1. And then lower that right knee down. Now with that right hand, exhale to press up. And then we'll exhale to roll onto the stomach. Bringing the front of the body to the floor. And this is where we want to make sure that pillow is in reach again. So with the elbows on the floor, maybe you fold your pillow and just bring it kind of in front of that right leg. So kind of roll to one side, bring it, kind of hold it onto that right leg, and then roll over. So the top of that right leg is on the pillow. So the right thigh is on a pillow, the left leg is on the ground. And the forehead rests on both hands. And then draw the right foot towards the sky. And maybe you feel a stretch in that right quad. I'm going to just bring a blanket onto my mat because as the sun goes down, my black pants kind of blend into the floor. So let me just place this here so you can see a little bit better with this dark pillow, the dark mat, and my dark pants. With that pillow is folded and just allow yourself to kind of rest and surrender. Hands on under the forehead, and that if you want, that right hand can grab that right foot. And if that's too deep of a stretch, then just remove that pillow. That pillow makes it a little deeper of a stretch. So if it's too much to have the pillow there to start with, just remove that pillow. One more breath in. And we'll exhale to release the foot from the hand. If you have it in the hand, bring the leg long. Kind of rock over to the left, the right hand on the floor. Press yourself over to just move that pillow out of the way. And then come back onto the front of the body and just relax here. Hands under the forehead. Breathing in and out. And then one more breath in. And on exhale, lift the head. Bring those elbows underneath the shoulders. And it's going to lift into a low sphinx. The elbows can be in front of the shoulders if you want, or they can be underneath the shoulders. And from our Sphinx pose, let's just inhale to lift the heart and lift the head. And then exhale to look over that right shoulder towards that right heel. And we'll pause there for 3, and 2, and 1. And then bring that gaze back to the front. And then exhale to bring the gaze on the left shoulder and glance at that left ankle for 3, and 2, and 1. And exhale, bring everything back to the front, the gaze, the effort. And then one more time, glance over that right shoulder, glance at that right heel. Back to the front. And exhale over to the left. Glancing at that left heel. And then back to the front. Exhale, lower down onto the belly, maybe lowering the hands onto the forehead. And then bring those heels towards the sky and just windshield wiper, letting those feet sway to one side and then the other. This might be a little massage for the frames of the legs. Just sway back and forth. And then now let those legs come long. And then we'll bring that right arm out overhead and exhale to roll over onto that right side. The left hand in front of the chest. And then bring those knees in like a clamshell again. I'm just going to rotate on my mat. So those knees are bent and the heels are kind of in line with the glutes just a little. The ankles are stacked on top of each other. And then as you're ready, we'll just exhale to open that knee to the sky, that left knee to the sky. And then bring that knee back down. And then exhale to open that knee to the sky. And then bring it back down. And exhale, knee to sky. And then bring that left knee back down. Let's send the legs long, roll over onto the stomach. Find that pillow. If you used the pillow last time, you want to use it again. Kind of roll that pillow up. Roll to the side, kind of get underneath that left quad. Then roll over onto the front of the body, and then maybe you bring that heel towards the glute. You can even hold that heel with the hand. And we'll just drop into this stretch for the front of the leg. Without rush, without wishing the leg to feel different, just allowing everything to be just as it is. Another breath. Exhale. And maybe the next couple of rounds of breath, you actually notice the belly pressing into the floor as you breathe. Now, as you're ready, gently release that foot first. Send that right arm long so you can kind of roll over onto one side. Remove that pillow up underneath the leg. And then come back to your belly. And then from here, rather than coming into Sphinx, let those legs come nice and long. We'll lift the heart in the chest. And then bring those hands out like a Y, kind of past the front of your mat. And lock out those elbows. And come into what we call seal pose. And you can change the bend on the back by changing where those arms are. If you're out far in front, it's not as deep of a back bend. If you have the hands closer to the hips and locking out the arms, that's a deeper back bend. So just kind of honor where you're at this morning. And it's actually, surprisingly enough, our backs are more flexible in the mornings. There's more synovial fluid along the spine in the morning than there is any time throughout the rest of the day. So we might actually notice in the morning that we can go into a deeper back bend. It doesn't necessarily always mean that we should. But just noticing where your back's at today. Give yourself one more breath. And now gently begin to bend those elbows, lower down the belly, the low ribs, and now bring the elbows under the shoulders or wherever you want them so you can press up and back to a puppy pose. And then the spine that we just compressed, we're going to allow to lengthen as we bring those hips over the knees, plant the hands, press the hands into the floor, and exhale to suspend that heart towards the ground. There's no right or wrong variation of your puppy. If you want to lower the forearms and elbows, you can. And then we'll begin to bring that awareness to the breath and be breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale for 4. Inhale. And exhale. One more round of breath. Let it go. And now we'll inhale to look up at the hands and lock those hands underneath the shoulders. Coming into our table. And if you need to kind of switch directions on your mat of where you're facing, you can, but we'll be tabletop. And then from this table, let's just let those hips move to right or back and forth. So one side of the mat and then the other. And you know, you could drop those hips down as close to the floor as you want, and that's going to just be a little deeper outer hip stretch. So if you need to do that, allow yourself to do that. Just back and forth with the hip. And then let's thread the needle, guys. So plant those hands, plant the knees, then ground that left hand maybe under the heart, or you can keep it under that left shoulder. Sometimes I like to bring it more to the middle so it's like a tripod and more stable. Because we're going to reach that right arm to sky first. So bring that right arm to sky, opening up towards the right side of your mat, and then maybe just turn the doorknob on the ceiling. So kind of rotate that wrist around, as if there were a doorknob or a faucet that you're opening and closing. Shoulder, wrist moving, and then extend the fingertips long, and then reach that arm underneath the heart, the back of the arm, the back of the hand to the floor. You can reach that left arm forward and just drop the right arm down. The forehead can come down, and then we'll rest in our needle thread here. Maybe noticing that across the back or the shoulder. Maybe you can notice it somewhere else in the body entirely. Maybe breathing into the low lungs and the middle lungs and the upper lungs. And let it go. And then a full breath to fill the entire lungs. And then exhale, slide that arm back up underneath. Bring the left arm underneath the chest or the shoulder. Reach that right arm back to side. Let's bring the right hand to the ground. And then walk the hands towards the knees. Let's rise up to a high kneel. And really reach up with the fingertips, grounding those knees down. And then bring the hands down to either side of the body. Yeah. And then we'll reach the arms back up again. And then fold it forward to that table. And then from this table, maybe again, you windshield wiper the hips side to side. You can bring those hips down as close to the ground as you want. Maybe a couple more times each side. Nice, you guys. And then on an exhale, bring that right hand either under for a tripod, bring it under the heart, or leave it underneath that right shoulder. And then we'll sweep that left arm up and then turn that faucet or that doorknob on the ceiling. Getting some shoulder rotation, wrist mobility. And then whenever you're ready, just thread that arm underneath the chest. Exhale maybe as you do it. And then as that hand gets to the ground, let that back open. And perhaps bring some awareness to the breath. The tops of the feet, to the knees, to that right palm on the floor. Maybe softening the gaze to the point where the eyes are closed. More breath in. And then on an exhale, just slide that arm back up from under. Bring the right arm under the shoulder as you do. Bring that arm up to the ceiling again. And then we'll exhale to ground that hand. And this time, let's walk our knees back. So instead of walking the hands forward, we're going to walk the knees back. So feel that strength of the torso and that low belly as you walk the knees back to come into your puppy pose and melt the heart. Heart down, hips up, breathe in. Exhale, sigh. And now let's look up at the hands. And now we're going to lift the elbows and the forearms if they were lowered. And now walk the knees towards the hands. Just that little difference. Kind of letting our brain have a new experience instead of always walking hands to feet. Now from here, let's curl the toes under and lift the sit bones up and back to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Reach the heart for the chest. And we'll be here for 5 breaths. And when I say 5 breaths, that's inhales and exhales. So it's 5 rounds of breath, right? And this can be dynamic. This can be more static. There's no right or wrong downward facing dog for your practice. One more round of breath. And now let's look up at the hands. Walk those feet towards the hands and we tiptoe to the front of the mat. And now from this forward fold, let's bend the knees slightly, and then sit down in a chair. Lift the arms up towards the sky. And then draw the hands to the heart and tuck that pelvis. Yeah, and then inhale to come tall. Once you come tall, give yourself a side bend, one direction. And really send that hip out to the side. And then the side bend in the other direction. Yep. And then back up to the sky. And like we did earlier, kind of sending the arm high and the leg long. Let's bring the right arm to the side. Bring that right knee in and reach that left leg to the ground. Left arm up. And now switch arms, ground the left hand down, reach the right arm high, and that left leg grounds, the right knee is lifted. And then lower the right foot, lower the arm. Yep. Shoulders are back and down. Ground the right foot, bring that left knee in. Reach both arms up overhead. And then we'll reach the right hand to the side body first. So we're just going to do one side at a time. The left arm is high with that left knee. And then once you have that balance, swap and do the opposite sides. Knee high, the right arm high. And now bring both hands down. Ground the foot. Wiggle out the hips, sweep the arms up. And exhale, fold it forward, Uttanasana. Exhale. Good, guys. One more breath here. Now exhale, drop the hips, bend the knees. Let's bring the hands to the thighs. So we've got our hands on our thighs in our chair pose. Reach the left arm forward. And then sweep the right arm back. So the left thumb, or the right thumb is towards the ground, the left thumb is towards the sky. And then sweep the right arm forward, left arm back. So left thumb down, right thumb to the sky. Uttanasana, yeah. And then do that one more time. Left arm forward, right arm back. And then the left arm back, right arm forward. And I bring that left arm forward, so both thumbs are to the sky. Now inhale, rise up to mountain pose. Nice, ladies. Exhale, fold it forward, Uttanasana. Breathe in. Now exhale, make your way down to your knees, down to your table. Yes, and now we're going to move through some cat-cows. We've warmed the spine up in some different ways today. So now we're going to drop the belly and lift the heart. Good, really good, you guys. And then exhale to round, chin to chest. Now stay here as long as you need. If you need to kind of open up that upper back a little bit. Sometimes this is just what the doctor ordered. If you kind of sleep kind of crunched up or with a weird neck when you wake up. And then you can come into your cow whenever you need. And this is nice for that low back as well. And you also sleep scrunched. Just move through your cat-cow. And then whenever you're ready, let's meet together with a neutral spine. So no cat, no cow, just your natural spine in a tabletop. Let's bring the right foot between the hands. And then bring that left knee back just a little bit from where it was in your table. So it's not underneath the hip quite as much as it was a moment ago. And let's just lift up to the hands on top of the thighs and roll the shoulders back. Yeah. And then adjust that knee so the low spine isn't curved. Okay, so you have just more of a natural, neutral low back. And now we're going to bring arms up overhead, interlace the fingers, and then flip the palms to the sky. And from there, we're just going to give our balance a little bit of a challenge in this low lunge. We're going to exhale a little side bend one direction. Yeah. And then go ahead and move over to the other side. And then back over the hips. And now let's hinge forward. So the hips might go back a little bit as you reach to press the palms forward and the chest hovers over the thigh. We're going to be here for just a few breaths. This is really active for the arms. One more breath. And then let's exhale, just bring those hands to the thighs. We're still folded over that thigh. The hands are planned to go on the leg. And then we'll reach up to bring the chest forward, shoulders over hips. Hands are on the thigh. And now lean into that right knee while the left hip flexors open. So now that right knee comes, good, you guys, comes forward, low lunge, breathe in and out. And one more breath. Now exhale to bring that knee a little bit back over the ankle more. Let's fold that left hand to the floor, folding forward, and reach the right arm to sky. Moving the spine in all directions this morning. Creating heat in all these different compressions and movements. Really nice, you guys. Now let's exhale to bring that right hand down, but bring it in the inside of that right foot. Now bring that right foot out to the side of your mat or even off your mat and come into your variation of lizard. So just drop that right knee out to the side. And maybe that means your palms are down. It might mean that right hand is just gently opening up the right knee. So really whatever feels good for you today. And another variation of lizard that you can do here is to bring that left heel towards the glute. The right knee is out, the left heel kind of comes in towards the glute. That also opens up that left quad a little. So now after another breath, let's exhale to bring that right foot to the ground and bring that right hand to the ground. And now we'll exhale back to your half split. So straighten that right leg, right heel to the ground, and then fold over that leg. You can have both hands on the inside of the leg, or you can frame the leg. One more breath. Now exhale to bend that leg slightly, bring the right hand back on the inside if it was on the outside. And now just sweep that leg back. So now we're in our tabletop again. Ground both hands, ground the knees, and then we're going to send that right leg out to the side. So send the right leg out, the right foot is down. Ground the right foot, and then let's walk our hands forward and come onto the elbows if you want. This is your variation of puppy. And if you don't want to come forward, then you can also curl the toes of the left foot under and kind of sit back on the left heel and turn the right toes to the sky. It's another way, another benefit of the shape, the variation. Maybe 2 more breaths. And then as you're ready, exhale to lift the heart and lift the elbows off the ground and walk the hands back under the shoulders. And then let's just bring that right knee in. And then once that right knee is in, we'll inhale to send that right leg long behind us, so toes ground. And then just press the heel back and rock forward. Open up behind that knee. Yeah, you got it. Just forward and back. Okay, 1 or 2 more rocks forward and back. There's a little bit more of that ankle mobility and bottom of the foot. And now once those shoulders are over the elbows, bring that right leg up. And then just cross it over that left foot. So now it's over at the left side of the mat. And now do that same rock back and forth. But that right foot is over at the left side of the mat, maybe on the floor. Forward and back. One more time. Now exhale to bring that right knee back to table. And let's walk the hands towards the knees and come into our high kneel once more. Oh, yeah, put the palms to the sky. And then we'll do our side bends. You can stay on one side as long as you want. You can go back and forth rather than holding longer. And now keep those arms overhead. Good. High kneel. Now bring those hands to your hips first, or bring the hands down and then step that left foot forward. And then we'll come back to rise and interlace those hands over the head. Yeah. Yep. So palms are to the sky. Yes. And then we'll hinge and reach forward past the crown of the head, past that knee. We're in our low lunge, we're reaching past. Do you guys notice if you reach the hands, those palms forward, the hands forward, and that left knee grounds, you might feel a stretch in the low back. Now exhale to draw the hand on top of the thigh. And then inhale to lift the chest and the shoulders are over the hips now. And now we're back to our low lunge. Let's breathe in. And then exhale to straighten that leg, planting hands, find that Ardha Hanumanasana. We're going to just open up the back of this leg here. Breathing in. And out. Another breath. Now let's exhale to bend that knee again. Coming into that low lunge and drop those hip flexors forward to drop into that right hip flexor. And then we'll exhale to come back to that low lunge, sweep the arms up. And then we'll come into that arm kind of sweeping back and forth like we did a moment ago, bring the arms out in front of the body. The right thumb is up. Sweep that left arm back, the left thumb is down. And then swap, right arm back, left arm forward. And really think about reaching through the fingertips. And then back. And then do it again. And do it again. And then exhale to bring that left hand to the right. Exhale to fold it forward, ground the right hand. Reach that left arm to sky. Now exhale to sweep that left hand down to the floor. Exhale to straighten that leg back to those half splits. Breathing in and out. Now let's exhale to bring that foot forward, knee over the ankle maybe. Bring that left foot to the side of the mat. Bring the left hand on the inside of the foot and drop that left knee out, coming into that lizard on this side. Let the head hang if you want, tuck the chin to the chest. Some people like to have the heart lifted. Okay, bring that knee, that hand to the knee, bring that foot towards the glute, that right foot towards the glute. 4 breaths. Now exhale to bring the foot to the floor. Bring the hands down, lock the foot in. Let's exhale to straighten that leg, just kind of bring it out a little bit, bring out that left back of the leg, and then sweep the knee back to the right. And then as you're ready, send that left foot to the side. And we can walk our hands forward for this variation of our puppy pose. And you'll feel it on the inside of that leg if you really ground that foot or press the foot into the floor. And breathing in and out. One more breath. And then exhale to look up at the hands, walk the hands maybe underneath the shoulders. Bring that left knee in. And let's walk our hands kind of forward just a little, and then walk the knees back. So we're not really in a tabletop. The knees are under the hips, so hands are underneath the shoulders. And now curl the toes under, lift up to downward facing dog, and then plant those feet where they normally go. Exhale. Breathing in and out. Another breath in. And out. And then look up at the hands. Let's walk the hands to the feet. So maybe walking the hands to the back of the mat. Bend the knees gently around up to stand. Shake out the knees. You can flip the palms to the sky if you want. Mountain pose. And now let's just wiggle through the joints. So let's bring our arms out and bring the hands to the shoulders. And then we're just going to make circles with the shoulders, or with elbows, I mean. But this is going to give that rotation with the shoulders. Yep. And you can switch directions many times as you want. And then you can send the arms out. And you can turn faucets out on the side of the body, or maybe on the front of the body, or up overhead. We just get some wrist movement. And a really nice one. Let's bring your hands together and just kind of roll it like this. Yeah, so we'll do that a few times and switch directions. This is kind of tricky for me. So I'm like, how do I switch directions? What am I doing with my wrists? But give some movement to those wrists. And let's send our arms out long and then flip the hand up like this, or down so the fingertips are reaching, as if the fingertips were reaching for your forearm. And maybe you just kind of gently pull those fingers back. That'll open the forearm, but also that wrist. And just breathe and enjoy this. One of my really dear friends has Lyme disease that flares up from time to time. And she does yin yoga in the mornings. And this is one of the things she does for her arthritis in her hands from the Lymes. And it helps so much. So these little movements are so powerful. For the grosser movements, and even, and of course, those subtle movements throughout the day. Yes, switch whenever you're ready. In and out. One more breath on that wrist. And then release that. Roll the shoulders a couple times. Then let's bring our hands to the knees or the thighs and just kind of move those knees as if you're making these kind of circles around the foot and switch directions. And we did this a couple times this summer where you can Saturday Night Fever if you want. There we go. Yeah. I love it. This is the only reason I did it today. I just wanted to see you guys do that. And now we're just going to come onto the balls of the feet, into the heels, rock forward and back. I'm going to grab a window, a little wall. Roll around a couple times if you want. And then let's make our way down to our seated position. If you want to sit in easy pose, you can. If you want to sit in hero pose, well, just let all of that movement settle into a seated shape. And exhale. Be wiggling toes and then settling back for just a moment. It's like you shake up that snow globe and letting that glitter and that snow settle. And whenever you're ready, making your way to Shavasana. If there's any shape that we didn't get to, give that to yourself too. allowing all of that energy to come to rest, to recharge, to nourish.